Marco.
Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a pool party. This is class day. We need to focus. Now, everyone with me. Hi, everyone. This is Reza Shamji.
And this is Saba Mirzad, and we are two of the program marshals of the class of 2025.
If you know us, you know that we love attention.
Yeah, you do.
But unfortunately, this time isn't for us. We're here to introduce Marco Burstein. He's delivering the Ivy Oration, which is a profound and playful reflection on our journey here at Harvard.
You know, I kind of like to think I'm like Marco.
How so?
Computer science concentration, economics secondary, Lowell House, Los Angeles.
I think you forgot something really important. He's actually funny.
Yeah, you're right.
At Harvard, Marco has taken advantage of the breadth of opportunities on and off campus. He was treasurer for the Lowell HOCO, narthex of the Harvard Lampoon, which he described as a, quote, pick-me way of saying social chair, and is currently working as a software engineer for a Harvard-founded unicorn startup called Mercor.
We are so excited to hear from Marco, but first we have a few disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1, parents, you may not understand all the jokes, but it's socially acceptable to laugh along.
Disclaimer number 2, Harvard, we love you. During Marco's speech, I promise we're laughing with you.
And disclaimer number 3, this speech may trigger strong emotions. Side effects may include flashbacks, like realizing who your real friends are at Tasty Basty, or face planting on the stairs of the Lampoon. Or maybe even some of your best memories, like Uzma said, the White Lies party. Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce my friend and the Ivy orator, Marco Polo.
He means Marco Burstein.
Thank you, Saba and Reza. Tough act to follow. Students, parents, and professors seeing me for the first time this semester. Hello and welcome to the Harvard Ivy Oration. My name is Marco. You may recognize me from the Name Pronunciations tab on Canvas. And before we begin, I know what you're all thinking. I entirely understand the purpose and value of the Harvard Ivy Oration. And I am so glad that this random person in particular is giving a speech instead of me or my child. Great point. Couldn't have said it better myself. But for anyone who isn't on the same wavelength and is wondering, who is this guy? Why is he the one giving the speech? Well, don't worry. This is just practice for when you have the exact same questions for our actual commencement speaker tomorrow morning. If you're still confused, you can think of the Ivy speech as the Harvard graduation equivalent of the beloved silly photo. It's theoretically funny, and it's mostly unnecessary. Still, there's a lot to cover, because there's so much that makes a Harvard experience special. You guys know, Visitas, River Run, Housing Day, the doxing truck that drives around with the square with your name and face on it, Harvard-Yale, suing the executive branch of the federal government, Annenberg. I could go on, so many things. We've survived 3 Harvard presidencies, including President Garber, who's already left his mark. He's the first person in the world to discover that if you're Harvard president, nobody can stop you from calling a bi-weekly Zoom meeting a task force. It's really incredible. Other names have changed too. We've witnessed the birth of the controversial Kenneth C. Griffin Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, as well as the weirdly uncontroversial Luigi Mangione Center for Career Success. And parents, just after you made your last tuition payments, Harvard announced that its price is going 100% off next September for most families, finally joining the same league as other great American institutions like Party City or Joanne Fabrics. No, but really, parents, I want to be clear. I'm laughing with you. I can really relate. You guys paid full tuition for Harvard in 2025. One day, I bought a mattress the day before President's Day. It's kind of the same idea. So with all that going on, it's easy to lose track of what really matters around here. Instead of focusing on all that drama, I'd like to spend the rest of the speech on just one simple question. It's a question that comes from the very start of our collective Harvard experience. It's a question that many of you forgot about long ago. And it's a question that none of you are going to expect me to address, because this question comes from a scene in the hit 2001 chick flick Legally Blonde. For anyone who hasn't seen the movie, in the most famous moment of Legally Blonde, the main character, Elle Woods, runs into her ex-boyfriend at Harvard. And he's surprised to see her there. And so she asks him, "What, like it's hard?" When this scene played on those Widener steps at freshman orientation, everybody started cheering. Of course it won't be hard, we all thought to ourselves. I was student body president in high school. Obviously I'm going to stand out here too. I even started a holiday toy drive for underprivileged inner city youth. I got this. Now, as our movie together comes to a close, I would like to revise my answer to this question. Was what, like it's hard? Yes, actually. Harvard was kind of hard. And more importantly, I think that's how it should be. Regardless of who you are or how you got here, the last 4 years have been tense, to say the least. Gates to the yard were locked as our school became headline news, and reporters descended upon our campus. We were at the first-year formal when Roe v. Wade was overturned. The Love Pop origami greeting card store has outlasted Shopping Week, linking groups, and the entire presidency of Claudine Gay. Back when we were all worrying about COVID, I wore a KN95 mask to Mather Lather. For any parents wondering, that's a soap-themed party. My point is, it's been a confusing ride. And so many parts of Harvard feel like they were designed to be difficult. Our wine society has a comp. Our Crimson Key Society has a comp. This graduation is held in Tercentenary Theater, which is just a fancy way of saying 300 years, which is just a fancy way of saying how long commencement takes. At times, many of us have felt lost. We've questioned our career paths and our futures. We've looked to Harvard for guidance, and they gave us Passio Go. So yes, Harvard has been challenging. But maybe that's a good thing. I mean, for one, Harvard's pressures have taught us to think for ourselves instead of following the crowd. So much can change if you just shift your point of view. For instance, on December 8th, 2023, the Crimson published the headline, "Breaking, Harvard President Interrogated by Congress." But that same day, the Crimson's Flyby blog published ranking the top 10 yogurt flavors at Berryline with 2 exclamation points. And that same day, this is completely true, The Independent published a pie chart of their favorite sex positions where the percentages add up to 112. It's all about perspective. And Harvard pushes you to work even harder by surrounding you with incredible people. Look to your left. Look to your right. Some of these people are still doing Model United Nations. Wow. They work so hard every time they have to make eye contact. It's incredible. Some of the people around you are on the Yardfest Artist Selection Committee. They put so much effort into every other thing going on in their lives. And they teach us how to live with disappointment. Just the other day, I was imagining how hard Chappell Roan would have gone at Yardfest. You guys know that one song with the TikTok dance and the hand motions? You know what I'm talking about? Panopto. I took that class on Panopto. And for any extension school students who are confused right now, those letters I spelled out in the first line spell Panopto. Before we go any further, I want to quickly apologize to any parents in the audience. I know a lot of the references in this speech are very Harvard specific, and that's pretty unfair because only like 80% of you went here. So for those of you who didn't go here, I just wanted to say thank you so much for donating that building. I really enjoyed watching the recordings of the lectures that took place there. So yes, Harvard has been hard. But on the bright side, Harvard also teaches you that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. This is another completely true story. Our sophomore year, I filled out data match, and I was so excited. I was finally going to get a girl's email address, and I opened the results, and they matched me with myself. This hurt a lot in the moment, but it taught me a valuable lesson about how I really needed to focus on me that year. It's a learning moment. Or another time, I lost a fantasy football league, and then as punishment, I had to eat 3 plates of Hud's beef fajita fettuccine Alfredo. And then I got 102-degree fever. So I went to HUHS, and they wrote me a prescription that just said, turn that frown upside down. What a great learning opportunity. Or just this month, Harvard lost $2.2 billion in federal funding. But on the bright side, we were able to balance the budget by permanently closing the Barker Cafe. Learning moment. I used to think a cafe that charged $18 for an iced Americano would be profitable. I will admit, I was wrong. It's moments like these that help us transform into citizens and citizen leaders for society. To summarize, what I'm trying to say is, yes, Harvard has been hard, and that's okay. Jokes aside, the past 4 years have been unprecedented, to say the least. But if I've learned anything from my own time here, it's that you can't grow without being challenged. You can't learn without admitting what you don't know. And you can't become someone new without losing a bit of who you used to be. I hope we all come to embrace the pressures of a changing college in an evolving world. To drive this point home, I would like to read a line that resonated with me from a paper by former President Claudine Gay. As she so profoundly wrote, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." If you found the past 4 years to be easy, congratulations on your Harvard History of Science degree. I am sure that employers will love you just as much as they love students with a Harvard Present Day of Science degree. But if you found parts of Harvard to be hard, then you should be proud. It's Harvard. It's supposed to be hard. At the end of Legally Blonde, Elle Woods gives a speech at her own graduation. Her advice is to believe in others and believe in yourself. As we go through the rest of commencement, I'm sure we'll hear similar words of wisdom repeated elsewhere. Follow your passion, you are the future, this sort of thing. All great advice. But I would like to instead conclude with something much more direct, and something that I learned from Harvard itself over the past 4 years. I hope we all go out into the world and fail. I hope we all make mistakes. I hope we swing for the fences and miss sometimes. Because we all want to become someone, or do something, or be somewhere. And we're not going to get there by taking the easy way out. I hope we challenge ourselves, and I hope we all keep learning. In other words, I hope we continue to live the rest of our lives like Harvard, like it's hard. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations and good luck out there.
Now that was a hard act to follow. Hello, everyone. My name is Henry Schwan, and I have the honor as serving one of the class of 2025 class marshals.
And my name is Anish Mupati. I serve as the treasurer for the class of 2025.